Hello and welcome. In the last episode, I claimed that the shape of the torus was the structure of the holographic universe, and that spheres limit or organize that energy. So in this video, I'm going to express how I learned that this translates into our physical world that we live in. Spirituality translating into the physical world. This is just a point of view from what I've learned and the information that I've put together. So as you see here, this is a 2D version, like a blueprint of how we've seen it for centuries. This image is everywhere. It's in Egypt, in ancient Egypt. It's in Leonardo da Vinci has it in his papers. You can find it. It's in a lot of places. What we're going to focus on is the very center circle has 6 petals. And those 6 petals are made by 6 other circles. So there's 7 circles in the very center. This, translating from the blueprint, is the human body, is the temple. From my perspective. And what these are, again, these circles on the blueprint are chakras or spinning energy or energy centers or frequencies. And we're going to get into that. So these 7 circles on the blueprint in the holographic universe is shaped like this. This is what we use in 2D to represent that shape, to represent that structure. Okay, but we live in 3D. This is just the blueprint. Just like if you make something, if you're a machinist or, you work on a blueprint as a carpenter or something, the blueprint is just information, pure and simple. You got to go through making it. You got to go through doing the work and making it come to life. And then by the time it's finished, it doesn't look anything like the blueprint, but it's all the same. So in this next image, in spiritual practices, pretty much every one of them that I've been involved with, except Hebrew mysticism, teach this. This is the structure of the blueprint within your body. And each of these colors represent a chakra. There's 7. Actually in your body. There's a lot more, but these are the major ones. And these are the important ones. And if you don't know anything about this knowledge, none of that matters. Just a base idea is what we're going for here. And we look at this in spirituality because when we're meditating or when we know how to use this energy, these are the places we focus. And these are the colors we focus on. And I will offer some frequencies here in a second when we get to each one. So spiritually, there is energy that comes into the top of your head from the universe, down through your body, out the bottom of your trunk, down into the earth, and then back up. Okay, now we know that if you went to the Heart Math Institute, like I suggested before, you will see that that is how our energy, how our magnetic energy works from our heart space. Just like the torus. And the energy's coming in through the top of our heads, and energy's coming in through the bottom of our trunk. Okay? You can look that up, and that's how we find it, and that's obviously a perfect world. In spirituality, you're taught to align those things, and this is how you view it spiritually, because they're all places on your spine. Okay, that's how you practice this type of path, which is the path of knowing yourself. So the first chakra or energy center is red. Okay, this is visible light we're using, and this is red. And when I give you the frequencies, I'm going to give it to you in hertz, and I'm going to use the solfeggio scale, which is a little different than the music scale and other scales. It's just one that I feel is appropriate. And when you look this up, there's going to be more. It's going to be awesome if that's what you want to do. If you just want quick information to understand that some people think differently than others, and there is a structure, and we know how it works, then stick with it for a little bit. Now, these frequencies directly translate into our bodies through the endocrine system. Okay, we all know the endocrine system exists, and if you can look it up, it's pretty easy. You can find it everywhere. I'm going to help you a little bit here with this. And the spiritual resonant vibration of the red chakra, which is the first chakra, which is at the bottom of your tailbone, your sacrum, is called the root chakra. And this has to do with survival and things like that. You can get, someone knows a lot better definitions, but just know that the corresponding gland to this is the adrenal gland that has to do with survival, right? And what it secretes and how that works. Okay, you can check this out and check this information. And on the solfeggio scale, that resonates at 396 hertz. Okay, is that important? Could be, might not be. Depends on how you want to use these things. Okay, and then we go to the orange chakra, the second chakra, the sacral chakra, which corresponds to the ovaries and the testes. Okay, your creation center, your power of creation. And this resonates at 417 hertz on that scale. Okay. Now the third chakra is the solar plexus chakra, and it corresponds with the pancreas and resonates at 528 hertz. Now I'm giving you the numbers on the solfeggio scale because actually listening to these tones can be very helpful. And I suggest, if this stuff interests you, to try a 15-minute chakra healing somewhere else on YouTube or wherever you can find one that just seems interesting. And hopefully there's not a commercial in the middle of it, because you might be surprised if you just let go and let it happen. Anyway, now we get to the fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra, which is in the center of your chest, which is basically what my channel will revolve around, because that's where the light of your soul exists, and that is connected with the thymus gland. Now you don't hear much about the thymus gland because it turns off at a certain age. You should get good information from somewhere else and read up on the thymus gland, because that is a very interesting subject if you're into this kind of stuff. And that resonates at 639 hertz. Okay. Then you have the fifth chakra, which is the light blue one, and that is with the thyroid gland, and that resonates at 741 hertz. Now the sixth chakra you might have heard of by now, which from my perspective is the pineal gland. And the pineal gland resonates at 852 hertz. Another very interesting subject. And then we have the 7th chakra, the crown chakra, which is the top of your head. Now again, from my perspective, it's the hypothalamus gland, but there's also the pituitary gland, and there is an 8th chakra that a lot of people like to talk about. But again, we're just doing very simple, very basic reality. And the 7th chakra is still part of your body on the top of your head. When it's running the energy through your body, it's actually connected to your body. Unlike the 8th chakra, if you get into that, there's a lot of people who have really good information about that stuff. And that resonates at 963 hertz. Now, why is this important? Is because we're using our imagination these days for a lot of things. And now we're getting AI to use our imagination for us, which is also very interesting because it takes the fun out of the game, I think, a little bit. Personally, that's my personal view. But it also has so many neat things that it can do and create for us to experience. But I'm going over this as a base of knowledge, as self-knowledge, as to ground you more into the reality of the idea of spirituality, the idea of being part of something bigger than you, the idea of, I'm not really with the Godhead, but it would be in that category. I'm more about the divine within, because we have an opportunity to grasp that. We have an opportunity to be a part of that, because it's hidden right now, and that's why we feel distant. That's why we feel like we want to go home. That's why we feel like there's something more to life than this. And this is a path to get there. Because it's late in the game, I like to center on the heart, but I've had a lot of practice, and I've done this stuff for a long time, so it's a little easier for me to navigate. But I think effort being put in that, pointing in that direction, is the best effort at this time, especially when we can't calm our mind, especially when we start going crazy. We think the same thoughts over and over again, and there are things that are helping these issues that we have. And some of us folks who've been on the earth a little bit longer don't remember this kind of pressure, don't remember these kinds of issues, internal issues that we're having these days, especially in the US. So I'm offering this out of my love for humanity and a different way of explaining something that doesn't seem so untouchable, or that doesn't, where you don't need to ask the permission of others or join a group or a cult or whatever to get this information. I'm just laying it out the way I see it. I wasn't taught necessarily in this way, but I'm putting it together this way because Crash Course, this is what your body looks like in the next level. AI will never make the next level because AI doesn't have our energy. AI isn't divine. AI is ran by electricity. And whether AI takes over and uses us all as batteries, I don't know. We'll see. But they will never be divine. It will never be part of the universe. It'll only be a creation of man. And kind of a low one, actually. But we'll get into that maybe in the next video. So this is your connection to the universe, to God, to everything. The next level, and this is in my opinion, not a lot of people are going to agree with this, the fourth dimension in mathematics, they say, is time. But time is very interesting because basically no matter what, you're always in the now. You are always right where you're at that time. You don't ever live in the past. You can think about the past a lot, but you're not there. You can think about the future and prepare for the future and guess for the future, and that's a good thing. Both of them are, really, if you don't let it weigh you down. But you will never be in the past, and you will never be in the future. You will always only be in the now. So that should help you a little bit with how some people say time doesn't actually exist, because it's kind of a mind screw, because you're always in the now. You're always where you're at that time. So the fourth dimension, in my opinion, is collective conscious, is Christ conscious, is the return of this idea that we're all human and we all have the same structure and we all have the same resonant energy pattern. I'm not the first to say this. It's the path that I choose to understand, because practicing spirituality and being a human and interacting with other humans, I learned these things, and this is what I'm going to stick with, because I'm absolutely positive. I've been taught to distance myself from people. I've been taught to hate just like everybody else. I've been taught that I have a place. All that stuff, that's fine. That's great. And sometimes we need those things because we're a social creature, because we're mammals. But what I'm saying is, if you don't want to lose sight of the joy in yourself, the joy that you are divine, the joy that you're a part of God, is it not written, ye are gods? This is a different way to look at it objectively, without getting into any dogma, without getting confused about this is this and this is that. The frequencies are unchangeable. The knowledge is solid. It's unchangeable. No matter what you've been told, no matter what the news tells you, no matter how many parades there are, the rainbow is a section of the bandwidth of light, right? Although it's 7 major frequencies, the ones we just talked about, because we are the rainbow bridge between the ultraviolet and the infrared light. We can't see those, but we still know that they're part of light. We're only that section in the middle. We can only see that our facility is only that bandwidth. And we know there's more. And we know that the light has more frequencies to it. And that's what we're moving into. But the next step from these 7 chakras and the self, the individuation of the collective conscious, the next step is becoming aware and acting upon the collective conscious, the Christ conscious. We become Christ by realizing we are all one soul. We are all one frequency that resonates at different patterns. Just like when you play a note on a guitar, the guitar sitting right next to it, you play the same note, it's going to sound different. So that's why it's important to be who we are. It's fun to play. It's fun to do things that, to stroke our ego. And because that's what we're here to do. We're here to play. But don't get so far into the game where we forget ourselves. And that's where we're at, I think. I hope this can bring a little bit of cheer or a little bit of idea of, the outside world is really looking terrible. But you know what? If we just turn that off and look at our inside world, or look at each other as if we all have the same insides, we can have fun doing it. We can have fun learning in such a different way. And that's what I believe we need to do now. Stop using our imagination for hatred. Stop using our imagination for the apocalypse that someone else told us was going to happen. But we're the ones here. We're the ones doing it. I hope you have a wonderful life, and positivity finds you in everything you do.